Hopefully you've just got your first ever mini drone, and before you get the drone in the air, I'm going to show you 10 things that you really need to do before you set off flying this. So firstly, if you're watching this over the Christmas period, I do hope you're having a fantastic time. This is a great time to either receive a new drone or you might have bought one yourself. And it doesn't matter if you have the DJI Mini 4 Pro, the Mini 3 Pro or the latest Mini 5 Pro. All these fundamentals are the same. And you might have even got a different drone altogether. It could be like the new DJI Neo 2, could be the Air series, the Mavic series. If you're a complete beginner, you need to follow these steps no matter which drone you've just picked up. So let's get into that first point, because if you don't follow this advice, you could find that you set your drone off and you crash it within seconds. And this is something, especially over Christmas, you don't want to happen. So let's just say you've unwrapped one of these drones, it's Christmas Day morning, and you really want to get this drone in the air. The temptation for a lot of new beginners is to fly this drone indoors, thinking that, oh, we'll just test it indoors, it's going to be safer than out in the public where there's people around and problems out there. Let's test it in this environment. And this is where things go wrong really fast. And flying these drones indoors, none of these propellers have guards on them, so they're all completely exposed. And if this propeller does hit you, scuffs your hand and arm, it does hurt. I've done this on my fingers so many times and it does cut the skin, can bleed. So be super careful if you're flying any of these drones indoors, even when you're like experienced. But flying it indoors is such a bad piece of advice, because you've got people around, you've got cats, you've got the dogs, you've got paper flying all over the place as soon as you set this off. It's a recipe for disaster. So if you just picked up one of these drones, don't be tempted to fly it indoors. Now, if you picked up one of these drones from new, the batteries on them, you'll probably find that they are completely flat out of the box. If you picked it up second hand, it might have some charge on them, but make sure that one of these batteries at least is fully charged. And if you've got the RC2 controller, make sure this is charged as well. Don't have the drone in the air with like 10 or 15% of battery. You can charge one of these full, it's not going to take any longer than an hour, same with the controller as well, as long as you're using like a fast charger. If you're using one of these really crappy like USB-C chargers, it's going to take much longer, but plug it into a wall outlet. If you've got like a laptop charger that's USB-C, that's also going to be a lot more powerful. Anything over a 30-watt charger, you're going to find that the charging speeds are much faster. Okay, so we're not taking off in the house. So what about if we go outside into the back garden? Should we take off there? Because the problem with the backyard or back garden is, unless you've got this like huge plot of land, there's going to be obstacles there as well. So you could have there a nearby fence, you could have a washing line, you could have kids' toys all over the place, you could have a dog running around. So taking this drone off in that situation is not good. And especially if you're going to be taking this off and you've never flown any of these drones before, something goes wrong, you crash into the fence, crash into your neighbor's house, it's not good. What you need to do is think about, in the local area, there has to be some kind of open field or a park, somewhere where you're away from people and you can take this drone off without anybody around, without distractions. Just think of somewhere in that local area. I know the temptation, especially around the holiday season, will be to take these drones off in the house or that back garden because you're itching to get this drone in the air. But by not going to a suitable location could mean you crash your drone instantly. The next thing to think about is, where can we actually take this drone off? Now, this is going to differ heavily in which country that you're living in, but we're not taking the drone off in the house. So now we're going to be flying it outside. It could be a local park, it could be a large field, it could be your back garden if you've got this big plot of land. But now the consideration is, can you actually take off in that area? It could be what's called a no-fly zone, and this could be for a number of different reasons, but it's really fast and easy to check this. Now, in the past, what would happen is, when you would turn your drone on, DJI would give you a notification on the screen saying potentially you're in a no-fly zone and the drone is grounded, you can't take off. They've actually removed that geo restriction in the last year, so now it will take off, but the onus is on you, and it is always on you. So in every location that you're going to, if you're flying your drone in a no-fly zone and you get a knock at the door to say you have breached X, Y, and Z, it's you at fault. So this is super important to check. but it's not very hard to do. So you can do this online really easily, or you can get some apps on your phone. So if you live in the UK, you can get an app called Drone Assist, and that will show you on screen no-fly zone. And you can actually look on the map here and you can see the different levels of restrictions. Some of them you can request to unlock, and some of them are complete no-fly zones, and in which case you don't want to be flying there. It could find that you might be living quite close to like an airport or a prison where you're actually in that no-fly zone area. And this is really key because you now can take this drone off. There's no restriction on taking that drone off through the DJI software. But the problem comes is as soon as you take that drone off and you're in a no-fly zone, it's you that's committing that offence. Now in the US, there's loads of different apps you can get and also websites as well. Aloft is really good. It's actually Air Control is the app. And then from there, you can also look at different areas of the US and it will show you all the flight restrictions. So go and get one of these apps first of all and just have a quick look in the area that you're going to be flying just to make sure it's actually okay and safe to fly there. So now we know where we can fly this drone, let's get it in the air. So now you're in that area, find a suitable place to take this off. Ideally, it should be on dry land, so concrete, asphalt is fantastic. It could be a wall, somewhere that's not going to get this drone wet. And don't be taking this drone off on the sand either. If you take this drone off, as soon as the propeller starts spinning and it takes off, all the sand will blow into the motors and it could wreck it instantly. So get the drone on a suitable place and turn the drone on and turn that controller on. So now you've got the drone and the controller turned on, make sure that the antennas are also pointed up. So get the antennas and point them up like that to get the best possible signal. Now before we take this drone off, just go into the top right hand corner and you want to check just a couple of key settings. This first one under safety, make sure where it says manual obstacle avoidance, that is set to bypass. By default, this could be off. If it's off, none of these sensors here will work. So you want it set to either brake or bypass. And then at the very bottom of that safety screen, it will say advanced safety settings. And where it says signal lost, make sure it says RTH, that's return to home. So if you have a disconnect, if something goes wrong with this drone, it will come back to you. And then on that same page, if you go to flight protection, max altitude, have that to 120 meters, 400 feet. That means that you're not going to break any laws going above that, but it also means that you're not just setting it to like 20 meters and then you're thinking something's wrong with this drone because it's not going very high. So have that to 120 meters. And under max distance, make sure that's not saying like 20 meters. Otherwise, you're going to fly your drone 20 meters away and it's not going to be able to go any further than that because it's restricted. So just change that. Let's just say, for instance, 4,000 meters just to keep it simple. We're not going to fly that far away, but it just means that the drone can fly, within that area that you're flying. So those are the key settings that you need to change before they get that drone in the air. Now obviously there's a ton more settings on here. Now I've done a few videos on this. I've also got cheat sheet books going through all the different settings so you can actually get the most out of this drone and you can take this with you so you've got all this knowledge with you all the time. So if you want to go and check them out, they're available on my website as well. But just for getting this drone in the air, these are the main ones that you need to just look and check every single time. Okay, so we've changed those settings now. We're in a suitable place. So on the controller, just in between here, you've got C, N, and S. Now these are the speed modes of the drone. If you put it into S, which is sports mode, none of the actual sensors will work. So I don't want you to use that at all, especially for your first few flights. So what I would recommend is that you put it into C, which is cine mode. This is going to completely slow down that drone and it's going to allow you to get a bit more confidence when flying this without going erratically all over the place. Now to get these propellers spinning, all we need to do is push diagonally left and diagonally right on the two sticks. And you see now the propellers start spinning and it will continue to do that. If you want to turn them off on that left hand side, just hold down and they will turn back off again. Okay, so take that drone off and just let it hover about 3 meters or 10 feet in height and let it hover there for about 10 seconds. And what this will do is it will allow you to get satellite connection and a home point. And this is crucial because if you don't have satellite or GPS lock, you won't find that your drone is hovering the same. Now, if you look on the controller in the top right hand corner, you might see some red icons flashing. So if you've got no satellite connectivity, this could mean that you're either indoors, you could be in an area where you've got loads of trees around you, you could have a building above it restricting that actual drone seeing these satellites. So move your drone to an area where it's not restricted at all to that sky and you'll see that you get satellite connections in about 10 or 15 seconds. And then you'll also hear an audible announcement saying home point updated. That means that the home home point is now fixed to your current location. If you don't hear that, you might have missed it with like panicking about all these different settings and stuff going on the screen. But don't worry, if you think you've missed it, you can actually click on the left hand side where there's that H icon and you can update that home point yourself. So now you've got the drone hovering in place, you've got GPS lock, we've now got a home point. So just on the left hand stick, just push up and that drone will increase in altitude in a straight line. And because it's in cine mode, it's not going to go really fast. It's going to be nice and controlled. And keep doing that until you've cleared any like trees, there might be buildings in that area, just so the drone is nice and restriction free in that sky. Now, depending which one of these drones you get, you're going to have maximum about 30 minutes of flight time. So not loads. If you have like the Mini 4 Pro, the Mini 3 Pro, it's going to be less than that. So use this time to concentrate on just doing the basics. So the drone's now in the air. What you want to do is on that right hand side now, just push forward and the drone's just going to fly in a straight line forwards. You can stop that, just take your finger off it, and you'll notice now if you just look at the drone, it's hovering completely on its own in the air. A lot of beginners, they think as soon as this drone's going in the air, I've got to have complete control all the time or it's going to fall out of the sky. It won't. It will actually hover that whole time until the battery runs out. So now actually push back on that stick and you'll see the drone flying backwards, and you can do the same with sideward motions by doing right and left. So just get into a habit of practicing them in that area. So don't on your first flight fly this drone too far out. A lot of beginners make this mistake. They'll put it into sports mode or normal mode and they'll just push up on that right stick, fly it really far to show the different family members or the mates, and then that drone is now really far away, you can't see it, and you're then panicking to get this drone back. Wind conditions can change, the battery life might be getting low, you're completely panicking, and this is your first flight. It's not going to end well. So just keep it really close to you so you can see that drone all the time, and just practice the basic moves. You can even actually push left and right on the gimbal wheel and practice rotating this gimbal to get some motion in that shot as well. You'll find just by doing this on maybe 1 or 2 batteries, you get the hang of this really fast. And then practice bringing the drone back to you. And there's 2 ways I want you to do this. So practice turning that drone. On the left stick, you can push left and right, and this will change the direction of that drone. So have it now facing you, push forwards and get that drone to come back to you. Once it's above your head, push down on that left stick and the drone will start to descend. So how do we get it to land? Well, say this drone's here. I'm going to push down this left stick, so the drone's now coming down. I've found a suitable place. I want it to land here. So what you do is on this left hand side stick again, you push down and hold it down for about 3 seconds. The drone will say landing and it will land automatically onto that ground. Dead easy. So you've just done your first takeoff and landing. Now let's show you how to bring this drone back via return to home. So take this drone off just like before and fly it, let's say now about 300 meters, 1,000 feet away. So once it's got there, on your controller, next to your speed icons, you've got this button here. So this is the pause button. If you have any issue with your drone, you can click the pause button and it will automatically come to a quick stop. If you push and hold this button, it will activate return to home. So say this drone's over here, I'm going to push and hold on the pause button. The drone will now automatically face me and it will come back on its own to that home point. You don't have to touch them sticks whatsoever. So practice that. Send it to that location about 300 meters away and then press and hold on that return to home button and just watch that drone come back to you. It's a fantastic safety feature. And especially over the holiday season, don't drink and fly. So you might have had a bit to drink. Don't go and then get that drone and fly it because you're not in the best condition to be flying this drone. So just remember, when you fly this drone outside, it's your responsibility for keeping everybody safe in that area. So for your first few flights, probably the first 5 or 10 flights, just practice taking this drone off, bringing it back to you, getting it to land so you're happy and comfortable with that. And then start practicing the gimbal motion on the left-hand side. And then you can start using both flight sticks for maybe doing some some orbit shots, just flying forwards, back. It really isn't hard to actually get this drone in the air and start making some decent content. Hit that record button, take some videos, take some photos. It's really easy to get decent shots out of any of these mini drones. So I really do hope you enjoyed that and got something out of this, especially if you're a complete beginner. Now, don't forget, I know it's really daunting remembering all these settings. That's why I introduced these cheat sheets years ago now. So you can keep one of these with you in this book format. It goes through all the different settings that you need to change, how to get the most out of these drones. If you don't want them as a book format, you can get emailed to you and you keep them on your phone or your iPad all the time, just so you've got all this knowledge with you every single time you fly your drone. And I've also got my drone moves cheat sheet book. So you can go and have a look here and it shows you exactly what to do on the flight sticks, and then you can practice all of these drone moves. And these are for beginners all the way up to really advanced moves as well. 25 of the top drone moves. So if you want to go and check out any of these products for your DJI drone, they're all going to be linked at the top of the description. So I hope you found that helpful. These are fantastic drones. Just don't go and crash them straight away. But I really do hope you got something out of this. If you did, do me a favor, hit that like button. It's completely free. And I've got loads of videos on this channel to help you out if you've just picked one of these drones up. Also, 2026, it's going to get off to a great start in January. So please don't miss out by hitting that subscribe button so you get notified of any more future videos. Have a fantastic time, and I'll see you on the next one.